On a sunny day, there is nothing more beautiful in the Comox Valley than our Comox Glacier. It's not only one of our iconic symbols, it is also part of the origin story for the Comox Nation. Andy Everson is one of the statesmen for the Comox Band.
The origin story that relates to the glacier talks about an old chief that was warned that there was going to be a great flood that was going to cover the world. And he was told to prepare 4 canoes and great lengths of rope to prepare for this great flood. And so when the rain started and everything started to flood all around this area, he instructed the strongest men and the most beautiful women of the Comox people, or the Potlatch people, to get in the canoes, and the floodwaters rose, and then they floated around here for a bit, and they saw this great whale come up, and so they tied their canoes to this whale, and it kept them in this area. So when the floodwaters receded, the whale became the glacier, and so to this day we still call the glacier Quinish. Well, for the Comox First Nation, it's an integral part of our identity, and so seeing that the glacier is disappearing has a profound impact on our own sense of identity.
The Comox Glacier has figured prominently in Andy's work, and he has several prints and works. One of them is the mural at the hospital, and he also has a print called Dominion.
Well, I've used the glacier in a number of my pieces in the past, and sometimes telling the origin story, and sometimes just to give a sense of place. And not only is it a symbol of identity for the Komoksa people, the Comox First Nation. It's a identifying symbol for all people of the Comox Valley. We all recognize the glacier, and we feel, a sense of belonging here in the Comox Valley. And so I like to use the glacier in my artwork to give a real sense of place.
Fred Fern is a retired mill worker who has lived in the Comox Valley for over 40 years. Fred is an outdoor enthusiast. He loves the mountains, loves to climb and hike, and discovered there's a problem in our own backyard. As an avid photographer, he started taking pictures and noticed the glacier was receding. That's very problematic for all of us.
Well, it's disappearing, and probably a lot of the wildlife will go with it. Well, today, it's winter time. There's no fish basically in the river spawning. We need the river full in August, September, when the fish are in there, so the glacier melts.
Glaciers all over North America are melting at an alarming rate. In Glacier National Park, just across the border in the Rockies, there were 250 glaciers in the 1800s. Now there are just 25 left.
Well, I'm not a scientist, but common sense, says it's probably not healthy for the glacier, right?
I think the glacier is a precursor and a warning for a lot of stuff that's happening around the planet with regards to global warming. Of course, glaciers have been disappearing for the past 15,000 years or whatever it's been since the last glacial period. But the rapid decline of this glacier is I guess symbolizes what's happening in this world, at least to me. And so in terms of what an individual can do, it's anything that you can do to do your part against global warming is one thing. I don't think that the glacier is going to be around forever. I'm pretty confident that it's not going to be. But there are things that people are doing that are affecting this planet, and I think if you can do your small part to minimize that, everybody will be better for it.
In 2014, Ralph Shaw pledged to photograph the Comox Glacier every year in early August for 10 years, or until the glacier is no more. Shaw passed away 1 year later, unfortunately, but I think the people of the Comox Valley are up for the challenge to photograph the glacier every year. The resulting pictures will produce a time-lapse record of the effects of climate change and global warming. We can't turn back the clock, but maybe we can work together to keep one of our icons alive. Anyone who's interested in Andy's work can reach him at andyeverson.com. in the Comox Valley, this is Judy Murakami for Shaw TV.